Chapter 3. The Man in the Cage. Darkness lingered long after the battle had ceased. The crater where Saitama stood was silent, save for the residual hum of destroyed Ki clinging to the wind. Smoke spiraled upward like the remnants of a scorched dream. Goku had vanished, not defeated, merely amused. A predator testing the waters. Saitama's clenched fist trembled, not from fatigue, but from a strange, lingering emotion he rarely felt, dread. He stared at the sky, still reeling from the encounter. That wasn't the Goku I saw on TV. That was something else. Saitama, usually indifferent, found his thoughts racing. Not just because of Goku's power, which was immense, but because of the look in his eyes, devoid of joy, saturated with hunger. He began walking. The world around him was quiet. Too quiet. A broken world. The earth he now walked was not his own. The cities looked familiar, skyscrapers, cars, roads, but they were vacant. Glass shattered, buildings scorched, no signs of life. As if a silent apocalypse had already passed through. Every few blocks, he passed massive propaganda posters, images of Goku's grinning face, eyes glowing crimson, hands raised in godlike fashion. Beneath them, phrases like, "Obey your guardian," "Universal unity through power," and "Saiyan peace is absolute peace." Saitama frowned. "Universal peace through obedience, huh? Sounds like someone read too much dystopian manga." His ears twitched. A distant sound, mechanical, sharp, rhythmic. He ducked behind a shattered wall just in time. From above, drones zipped through the air, black orbs etched with Goku's insignia. Each emitted low-pitched surveillance tones. One hovered over the area Saitama had just vacated, scanning for anomalous key signatures. He exhaled softly. "So I'm already being hunted." He didn't wait. Dashing through alleyways, he eventually stumbled into an old metro tunnel. The darkness welcomed him. The underground. Hours passed before Saitama found another living soul. Deep beneath the crust of the ruined earth, he came across a hidden outpost. Dim lights flickered in a tight corridor. Graffiti covered the steel walls. A makeshift gate, guarded by two ragged warriors, one human, one Namekian, blocked his way. They pointed blasters at him. "Identify yourself." Saitama raised his hands lazily. "Just looking for a place to not get vaporized." The Namekian narrowed his eyes. "You're the anomaly that fought Goku." The human's grip tightened. "He let you live." "Why?" Saitama shrugged. "Maybe he likes bald guys." There was a pause. Then, to Saitama's surprise, they lowered their weapons. "Bring him in," the Namekian said. "The commander will want to see this." The resistance. Inside the base, whispers filled the corridors as he passed. Soldiers and refugees stared, not just out of curiosity, but with hope, suspicion, and fear. In the central chamber, a holographic map of Earth blinked red in dozens of locations. Pockets of resistance were scattered, surrounded by vast zones marked as controlled by GZ, Goku's new regime. At the far end of the room stood a woman, tall, with short silver hair and a deep scar across her cheek. She wore battered Saiyan armor dyed black. "Saitama, right?" she said without looking. "That's me." She turned. "I'm Commander Kael. Welcome to the last standing resistance on Earth." Saitama rubbed his head. "Cool. Got any ramen?" She didn't laugh. "You don't get it, do you?" He looked around. "I get that everyone's either hiding or dead. I get that your Goku's a nut job. And I get that I don't belong here." Her eyes narrowed. "You punched him. And lived. No one's done that in 10 years. He crossed his arms. "What happened to him?" Kael tapped a panel. A projection came up, surveillance footage from years ago. Goku, at first smiling, saving a city from a meteor. But something changed, she narrated. After defeating Zamasu and the Tournament of Power, Goku ascended to something beyond Ultra Instinct. Something divine. He disappeared for a year. When he returned, he wasn't the same. The footage shifted. Goku vaporizing a council of Kais. Destroying the Capsule Corporation, resurrecting Frieza only to rip him apart. Images flashed by too quickly to process. He believes the multiverse is broken, Kael said. He wants to rebuild it in his image. To do that, he destroys resistance. Converts survivors into Ki thralls, mindless soldiers obeying only him. Saitama's brows furrowed. What about Vegeta? Kael hesitated. The cage. Come with me. She led Saitama through winding tunnels. Finally, they reached a heavily fortified chamber. Inside, suspended in a Ki-dampening energy field, was Vegeta. He looked like a ghost. Hair wild, armor cracked, beard grown. But his eyes, though exhausted, still burned with fury. He looked up as Saitama entered. You? Hey, Saitama said awkwardly. So you're still alive? Vegeta sneered. Unfortunately. Kael deactivated part of the field. Vegeta remained inside, unwilling or unable to move. Saitama stepped closer. Why are you in a cage? Because he let me live. Vegeta's voice was sharp. He wanted me to watch. He beat me, broke me, then locked me away. He visits sometimes, to remind me that I failed, that everything I fought for is gone. Saitama said nothing. Kael broke the silence. He's dangerous, but he knows Goku better than anyone. We've been trying to break him out for months. Now that you're here, you think I can beat Goku? Saitama asked. Vegeta laughed bitterly. No, but you might distract him long enough for us to figure out how. A new mission. Later, as Saitama stared at the sleeping resistance members in their bunks, he found himself unable to relax. This world wasn't his. These people weren't his responsibility. And yet, something gnawed at him. He remembered Goku's words. You are interesting. Stay alive for me. That wasn't a threat. It was an invitation. Kael approached from the shadows. He's preparing something. We've intercepted fragments of his plan, something called the Convergence. Saitama turned to her. What's that? She handed him a data crystal. A ritual. Not just to reshape this world, but to connect all timelines, all universes. Fuse them. Rewrite the multiverse itself. His eyes narrowed. And destroy the ones that don't fit? She nodded grimly. Starting with yours. Closing scene. Seeds of rebellion. Later that night, Vegeta, still trapped, stared at a small crack in his cell wall, one that hadn't been there before. For the first time in years, he allowed himself a whisper of hope. Saitama stood at the edge of the outpost, gazing at the red-lit sky. The stars here didn't twinkle like home. A faint wind whispered through the ruins. He cracked his knuckles. All right, Goku. Let's see how interesting this world can really get. And somewhere, deep in the darkness, Goku smiled.